Hello, how you guys doing today? Today we are going to learn how to multiply polynomials. All right, multiplying polynomials, super important skill you need to know for algebra, all right? All right, so one way we can do this is called a box method. And boxes come from the number of terms we are multiplying inside the parentheses. So to find the area of a box, right, we do the length times the width, right? So we're going to find the length times the width, and then we're going to combine our like terms. So I see this as x times x minus 10, right? And that's in the parentheses here. So I have one term, that x, so my box is one box long. And I have two terms, x minus 10, so my box is two boxes wide. So I'm going to have x and minus 10. Those are my two terms. Okay? So now I got to find the area of each box. So to find the area of this box here, I would do x times x. And x times x, we know, is x squared. To find the area of this box, I would do x times negative 10. Well, that would be negative 10x. All right, so now I can combine my like terms, nothing to combine, so my answer is just that area box there, x squared minus 10x. Because I can't combine anything, I can't do anything else, that is my answer. Let's try this one. All right, let's see, I have negative parentheses x plus 5. So this is really a negative 1. So I'm going to have negative 1 times x plus 5. Right? I just put a positive 5. Plus 5 and positive 5 mean the same thing. So negative 1 times x would be negative 1x. Negative 1 times 5 would be negative 5. Right? So what's my final answer? My final answer is negative x, because we don't have to write that 1, minus 5. And that's my answer, because I can't combine anything else. Can't combine this with this, because this is an x and this isn't, right? And that's it. Okay, let's try one more. Let's try one. Let's see, I got negative 6x squared times x minus 4. Well, negative 6x squared is here. And then I have x and I have minus 4 as my other two terms. Negative 6x squared times x would be negative 6x to the third, right? Because I have two x's, I'm timesing one more x, that'd be 3x's total, x to the third. Negative 6x squared times negative 4. 6 times 4 is 24, so it'd be 24, and it's positive because two negatives make a positive, and this still has that x squared, so it'd be 24x squared. So what's my final answer? My final answer is negative 6x to the third plus 24x squared. I can't combine these two because they're two different powers, right? All right, there's two more. Pause the video, try those two on your own, see how you do. All right, unpause it when you're done, check your work. All right, here is these two that I told you guys to pause the video and do on your own. Hopefully you did it, and hopefully check in your work now and you're getting it right, okay? These are the two answers. Check your work, see how you did, and here's the work below. You can see and check your own work. All right, there's another way we can do these, all right? And the other way we can do these is we can distribute, okay? And distribute is just like how we distribute anything else, right? That term on the outside, we're going to multiply to everything on the inside. We're going to multiply to everything on the inside. So negative x to the third power, really, that really means negative 1 in front, right? So negative 1 times 9 would be negative 9. X to the third times x to the fourth would be x to the seventh. Negative 1 times a negative 2, that sign in front tells me that's a negative 2. Negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 2 is 2. X to the third times x to the third would be x to the sixth. Negative 1 times 7 would be negative 7. And then that negative 1 had x to the third, so it would be x to the third. Right? So that's the other way we can do it. We can do a box method, or we can distribute, right? So let's try this one. Let's do the same thing. Distribute. Negative 5x squared times negative 3x to the third. So negative 5 times negative 3 would be a positive 15. X squared times x to the third would be x to the fifth. Negative 5x squared times 8x. Negative 5 times 8 would be negative 40. And x squared times x would be x to the third power. Okay? So there's two ways you can do it. You can either do box method or you can distribute. Okay? All right, so let's do some more box methods. All right, so box method. So this time I'm doing a binomial, which means two terms, times another binomial, which means another two terms. See? Two terms times two terms. So one way I can do this is a box method, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a box. I'm gonna check to see how many squares I would need. So if I was gonna multiply this one, I see I have two terms and two terms. So it means I'm gonna have 4 total boxes. Two terms and two terms, right? Then I'm going to multiply each box, the length times the width, to find the area. And then I'm going to combine my like terms. And remember, like terms have to have the same variable raised to the same exponent, or raised to the same power. Right? And then we always want to write our answer in standard form. Remember, standard form is the biggest exponent goes first. So all your variable numbers go first, all your variables go first, and your biggest exponent goes first, and it goes down in order after that. Okay, so let's try this one. This one says x plus 3, which we've written over here, and x plus 5, right over there. We're multiplying these together. So for the area for this first box would be x times x. Well, x times x would give me x squared, right? The area of this box would be 5 times x. 5 times x would give me 5x. The area of this box, it's 3 this way, and it's x this way. So it'd be 3 times x, which would be 3x. And the area of this box would be 5 times 3. 5 times 3 gives me 15. All right, so then we said we want to combine our like terms, right? So do I have any like terms here? I do. I got a 3x here, and I got a 5x here. I can combine those two, right? So let's write it in standard form. X squared I can't combine anything with, so that's going to be x squared. 3x plus 5x would give me 8x. And 15, I can't combine anything, so I just bring it down, plus 15. And there is my answer, x squared plus 8x plus 15. All right, let's try one more. X times x for this box, right? Length times width. X times x will give me x squared. If I want to find the area of this box, it's going to be a negative 3 times x. So it would be negative 3x. If I want to find the area of this box, I have a 4 and I have an x. 4 times x would be 4x. And 4 times negative 3 would be negative 12. All right, so now I want to write this in standard form and combine like my like terms. So x squared, there's no other x squared inside here, so I can just write x squared. Do I have any like terms? Oh, I do. I got an x like term there, and I got a like term here. 4x minus 3x gives me 1x, and it's a positive, so I just put plus x. I don't have to write that 1 there. Negative 12, I can't combine with anything, so I just bring it down, negative 12. Okay, so that's how we do the box method. All right, so the box method, this is 2 terms times 2 terms. So that means I have 2 boxes on top, 2 boxes down the side, and then I just find the area for each box, and then I write my answer. All right, so we have a bunch of on here to practice. I want you guys to go ahead, pause the video and practice it. Actually, let's do one together first, and then you guys can try the rest on your own. But there's one here that I want to do together. It's number 5. Let's do number 5 together. All right, so 3x minus 1 squared. So what is 3x minus 1 squared? What does that mean? Well, that means I'm doing 3x minus 1 times itself, right? Just like if I had 3 squared, it means that's the same thing as 3 times 3, right? So if I have 3x minus 1 squared, that means I'm going to do 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. I'm timesing it by itself, right? So we can use this box method and figure that out. So let's see, I have 3x minus 1, 3x and minus 1, and my other one is also 3x minus 1, so that's going to be over here. All right, so now I can find my area. 3x times 3x will give me 9x squared, because I have 2 x's. X times x gives me x squared. Negative 1 times 3x would give me negative 3x. 3x times negative 1 will give me negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 1 will give me 1. Okay? So now I can combine my like terms and write it in standard form and stuff like that, right? So this x squared I can't combine with anything, so it'd be 9x squared. Negative 3x minus 3x would give me negative 6x. And then this 1 I can't combine with anything, so it'd just be plus 1. Okay? So try these other ones on your own. Pause the video, try these on your own. Get it checked by a teacher when you're done. All right, hopefully you tried those on your own. All right, so now let's do something different here. Let's say I had more than 2 terms times 2 terms. What do? Well, we just make a bigger box. We try and figure out what size box we want to eat. So here I see I have 2 terms times 1, 2, 3 terms. So if I was going to do this the box method, right? I'm going to draw a box. I got 2 terms, so I can just split this side in half, because I'll have my 6m and I have my 5, right? This one over here, I got 3 terms. So that means I'm going to have 3 columns here. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to have 4, and I'm going to have negative 5m squared. and I'm going to have 3m. Okay, so if they have more than 2 terms times 2 terms, you just make another box. That's it. And then we just do it the exact same way. 6m times 4 would be 24m. 6m times negative 5m squared would be negative 30. And then m times m squared would be m to the third. 6m times 3m would be 18. M times m gives me m squared. 5 times 4 would give me 20. 5 times negative 5m squared would be negative 25. Negative 25m squared. And 5 times 3 would give me 15, and then that 3 had an m, so it'd be 15m. All right? So now I can write this in standard form and combine my like terms. So I see I have a negative 30m to the third. There's no other 30m's to the third, so I'm going to put negative 30m to the third. All right? I got rid of that. That's down here now. All right, so now I see I have squares. I got a square here and a square here. Both of those are m squared, so I can combine those, right? So negative 25 plus 18 would give me negative 7. So it'd be negative 7m squared. All right, I can combine those, so those are gone now. So now I got 24m and 15m. If I add those together, that would give me 39m, positive 39m. So I put plus 39m. All right, I combine that one and I combine that one. I'm just left with 20. There's no other numbers to combine it with, so I just put plus 20 because it's positive. And this right here is my answer, and it's in standard form because my variables are going down, starting with my biggest variable, going down to my smallest, and leaving my constants or numbers with no variables at the end by itself. Okay, go ahead, try this one on your own. We got 2 terms times 3 terms. Try it. Draw all your boxes, right? 2 terms means I can split my box in half here and have my 2x and my 3. And then this one's got 3 terms, so I got to make sure I have 3 columns, right? 3x squared minus 4x and 2, right? So go ahead, find the area there, try it yourself, get checked by a teacher when you're done. Okay, so the other way we can do this, when it's a binomial times a binomial, or even a binomial times a trinomial, but I got 2 terms times 2 terms, so I can do the box method. We just learned that, right? The other way I can do this is distributive property. And what I have to do is I have to take each term and times it by each term in the second thing. So what do I mean by that? So 2x, I have 2x here. That means I got to take this 2x and times it by x and times it by negative 7. I got to times it by both things. So 2x times x would give me 2x squared, right? 2x times negative 7 will give me negative 14x. All right, but I also have another term in here. I got this 3, right? So this 3 also has to be times to both of those. So I got to do 3 times x, which will give me 3x. And I got to do 3 times negative 7, which is negative 21. And then I can combine my like terms, right? So 2x squared, there's no other x squareds, so I can just bring that down. But these 2 terms in the middle are both like terms. They're both x's. Negative 14 plus 3 would give me negative 11, so it'd be negative 11x. And this minus 21 I can't combine with anything, so that would just come on down, and that is my final answer. Can't do anything else. So you can do it either way. You can do a box method, or you can do distributive property, right? Remember this one, 3x minus 1 squared means it's 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1, right? That's what squared means. You're taking that and you're timesing it by itself. And then we can distribute. 3x times 3x will give me 9x squared. 3x times negative 1 will give me negative 3x. Negative 1 times 3 would be negative 3x. Negative 1 times a negative 1 will give me a positive 1. And then I can combine my like terms, which are right there in the middle. 9x squared can't be combined. Negative 3 minus 3 would be negative 6x. This 1, I can't combine anything, so it just brings plus 1. And that's my answer. All right, so there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do the box method, which a lot of people like, or you can do distributive property. If you like distributive property, there's another way you can do it, right? You just got to make sure you take every term in the first one and multiply it to everything in the second one. All right, go ahead, pause the video and see this. Try this one on your own with distributive property. See if you can do it. Take that 8w, multiply it by both things. Right? Take this negative 3, multiply it to both things. See how you do. All right, get it checked with iTeacher when you're done. All right. Anyways, that's how you multiply polynomials. If you ever have any questions, please ask a teacher. I'll catch you next time.